Hello, folks, and we are back here in Star Trek Online. I am Shane12088, and I am filling in for Sirion's Thursday stream as he's off somewhere, having a good time, having a bit of a vacation. Which, as we all know, in the modern times, taking any kind of vacation is a luxury, even for the most simple of us. So I'll be here this week, next week, and maybe subsequent weeks after that. Hello, Zerdones. Welcome, one of our resident stream enjoyers. How are you doing today, Mr. Zerdones? I know for me, I am glad that we're nearing the weekend. It's been a little bit stressful recently, but hey, yes, always ready for content, and I think that's one thing that we do here at Clan Quest so well, and I hope everybody's been, whether you're watching live or you're watching after the fact, you're enjoying what we put out. Sirion and Cyan and Questcaping do such a good job when they do their live streams, whether it be the group questing stuff or the boss stuff when that comes out, or the weekly stuff that Sirion and Cyan do. It's really good. But nonetheless, just gonna pop some social media here, then we'll get going. Back, as I mentioned, in Star Trek Online, and last time we pulled the ship. This time I chose the ship. I know Sirion would be mad at me for not choosing the refit NX, but I went with the Crossfield because this is my daily driver on this character, and I just wanted to provide a bit more of an experience of what we're looking at in terms of normal playthrough. And since we were last around in Star Trek Online, a number of things have actually happened to the game. They launched their newest season, and just like we have on the TV and whatnot, Star Trek Online puts themselves into seasons. The newest one is season 24. It's called Reflections, and based on Reflections, that means, of course, that we are headed to the Mirror Universe. I toyed with doing that this week, but I thought we're just going to continue on with Victory is Life because that's where we were at, and I just want to have a tiny bit of continuation on that. So we're going to get to that in just a moment. I'm just finishing the social stuff for the stream. And I don't know how Sirion and Cyan do this, whether they have separate screens for managing all this, but I got some of it going on currently on the phone and whatnot, but it works, and it all holds together at the end of the day. All right, live streaming Star Trek Online now. Come join us. Smiley face. Yeah, no evil goatees. You always notice that when it comes to Mirror Universe stuff, don't you, Zerdones? That you could throw that together, and that's one fun way that they always differentiate Mirror from not. And whenever you make a Mirror character in STO, it's said that that's something that you have to do. You have to put a goatee on the character. So where were we last time? We were last in the Victory is Life arc in the Gamma Quadrant storyline, and we had just finished the search, and the idea of what was happening in the search is we were trying to figure out what the Herc were up to and why they were after us, and it turns out that, well, Odo activated some devices on Federation planets, and as a result of that, summoned the Herc for a reason unbeknownst to them, and we're going to head into the Gamma Quadrant, deeper into the Gamma Quadrant, and uncover more of that Herc mystery. We have 4 missions left in the Gamma Quadrant arc. I don't think we're going to get to all of them today, because some of them are very long, but we're going to do what we can do best in about 2 hours or so. So we're going to pick it up with Doomed to Repeat right now.
Odo's found something intriguing in the Masan system. Something the Founders want no one to know about, even one of their own. That certainly piques my curiosity. I'll meet you in the Masan system. Odo wants to travel incognito this time. I trust you'll be able to deliver him and that surly Gemadar bodyguard of his to the Masan system intact. One more thing. I've taken the liberty of informing Captain Kira, and she'll be joining us as well. After the Karema incident, she's taken a personal interest in high-level Dominion activity, particularly where Ambassador Odo is involved.
And the fun part about this is that
you.
when we look back at this, you have to remember from the tail seasons of DS9 that Kira and Odo were very close together. And now you can see that after being apart for, 20 plus years at this point, there's some friction upon this renewal? Reuniting of them? I don't know what word's going to be. All right, here we go. And part of the reason I chose this ship is that I wanted to sample off the fun animation of its of how it gets to the next mission. So just have a look at this. Yeah, Zerdone's Captain Kira Kai. The way I understand is the Bajoran militia became part of Starfleet, so she carries that rank as well as Kai. Yeah, that's exactly it. We get a spore drive jump because we're in the crossfield. And we wait for Star Trek's Online's loading system. And you see here, they always love showcasing what's new. We got the first ship from Lower Decks into game, and unfortunately, and there's a lot of debate about this in the community, whether or not they should be doing this, the new ships that come in from most of the current TV series get put into their lock boxes, which are, of course, the gambling mechanic in the game.
I only recently learned of the station here. It's very old and very well concealed, even from Vorta and Gemadar. From what I can tell, the Founders studied alien life here, including the Herc. We may be able to recover useful tactical data on them from the station's computers. No, and that concerns me. This is supposed to be an abandoned facility. Take us into comms range and open a hailing frequency. Let me do the talking. I should be able to make any Vorta or Gemadar fall into line if things get so far so good. They're not targeting us.
Yeah, and that's a interesting bit about Star Trek Online, and what I love comparing to the RuneScape community is that the people in the RuneScape community...
Entering the Dominion systems without authorization
We'll just let her talk.
has become a bad habit of yours. One I have grown weary of.
There's no need for this posturing, Founder. We're here on official business under my authority.
Odo, it seems to be a day for defiance and bad habits. You do not have the authority to grant access to this system. It is restricted to all but those of the highest level, a level you do not possess. Now then, I suggest you leave immediately. Fire to disable. Odo must not be harmed.
Oh, wow, they're coming after us. What do we know?
Dominion forces, this is Counselor Derek aboard the Tane. Cease hostilities. Consider that your first and only warning.
We must protect the Founder. All ships, disengage!
Well, that was interesting.
You know how to make my days more interesting. An ancient Dominion research facility, guarded by the leader of the Founders. A cloaked fleet pales in comparison, but it's the best I can add. I wouldn't have missed it for the world. The fact that the Founder was willing to fire on one of her own speaks volumes on this station's worth.
Since when does the Founder stand guard duty, Odo?
She doesn't. Let's find out what she's hiding.
We don't have a lot of time. We may have held off the Founder for now, but she'll be back, and she'll bring friends. Let's get down there and find what we came here for, before every gem...
I couldn't agree more. On any other day, I'd be the first to beam down. However,
Captain Kira makes...
Alright, so as I was saying before we got interrupted by the
Looks like the station's
cutscenes.
running on
Okay, we're gonna get
auxiliary
interrupted
power.
again by the
We've got
cutscenes.
life support, basic lighting, not much else. If we're gonna get anything useful out of this relic, we'll need to get the main power back online.
Stay vigilant. We have no idea what to expect here.
So what I was gonna say, Zerdones, in relation to your question, is that one thing that I am able to go back and forth on a lot is just how the monetization of Star Trek Online compares to that of RuneScape, because we all know the RuneScape community instinctively pulls back hard whenever there's new monetization added. In Star Trek Online, it's accepted and it's the norm. People still complain about it, of course, but the community management side of the Star Trek Online folks, they don't care as much as the folks do who run RuneScape. And that's the difference in terms of the community having influence in the game, is that the decision-making is more decoupled in this from the community, and it produces more of these kind of outcomes. Anyways, let's progress forward. How's the audio level? Is the game too loud? Am I too quiet? Where are we at in terms of the balancing? Feels like we might be different today. Alright, sounds good.
Well done. Main power is back online. We'll be able to access other systems, including the data core. Let's find an access console and see what's in there. Hopefully the data files aren't corrupted beyond repair.
But to just put it in this frame, could you imagine Jagex ever releasing an item that is top tier, best in slot, that's behind a gamble mechanic with about a 1% chance to get, meaning you normally have to gamble upwards of probably 300 boxes in order to have a chance at getting it decently? That's what we do here in Star Trek Online, for anybody wondering the comparison between the two.
This terminal is in poor shape. None of the files are accessible. Considering their age, I'm not terribly surprised. The Founders wouldn't keep a place like this hidden to protect dust and broken files. Let's check all the data.
Alright, let's figure out what we got in this room here.
Research Report 4121.63, Dominion Reckoning. My fellow Founders, the Mesan Research Station is fully operational. As we continue to add worlds to our sphere of influence, our studies of xenobiology become more important. We must know all we can of both friend and foe. Our Premier project is underway. You'll recall the recently discovered race of tree dwellers, hunted as we once were. Genetic engineering of these solids has produced considerable results. Their intelligence has increased by a factor of 3 so far. We predict this species will be the first of many loyal servitors.
She's talking about the Vorta. The date she gave was nearly 2,000 years ago, not long after the Dominion was founded. This facility's older than we thought. Much older.
There's a bit of history on the beginning of the Vorta, as we heard in DS9, but this just confirms that, and you're 100% right. Nothing ever good, Zerdones, comes from the term reckoning.
Report 4653.15, Dominion Reckoning. Our scouts have discovered an interesting species of solids at the edge of the Dominion. They are a species of sentient insectoids that live primarily underground. We may not have detected them were it not for a thorough geological scan. Initial studies have revealed that these solids are based on germanium. I've attached bioscan data we collected on them for your review. I've dispatched a research unit to study these burrowers further. They may be just what we need for the military initiative.
Burrowing sentient insectoids. Germanium-based. She must be talking about the Herc. Judging by the date, the Founders made first contact with the Herc nearly 2,000 years ago.
Alright, there's our backstory on the Herc confirmed. You'd think that that would be enough in here, but let's see what else we got. Oh, it's in the next room over. Interesting.
Research report, Dominion date 7021.27. More data has arrived on the cadre species 484 designation, burrows. Their world's unusual orbital path has taken it out of the habitable zone. As a result, the burrows have retreated underground and entered a state of hibernation. While dormant, a smaller servitor race tends to the burrows. They also maintain their shared habitat and technology. I've instructed the field team to take advantage of their dormancy period. My team initiated first contact protocols with the borrowers prior to their mass dormancy. They found them to be friendly and intelligent, if not willful.
Unbelievable. It sounds like the Founders made first contact with the Herc in order to find a way to conquer them. It's like Quarks says, the bigger the smile, the sharper the knife.
The bigger the smile, the sharper the knife. I like that analogy.
Research report 7903.01, Dominion Reckoning. Cadre species 468, designation Gemadar, is a massive success. They will be the strong arm of our Dominion, guided by our cunning, brilliant Vorta. The toil of these vassals will allow us to spend more time in the link with those we hold most dear.
The birth of the Gemadar, as seen through a Founder's eyes. Interesting. No mention of the Herc, however. Their designation number was lower than ours. They were our predecessors. Perhaps something went wrong? Something that led the Founders to reject and abandon them for a different species. Us.
Yeah, and that's precisely the thing. Kira should know all about the Gemadar, and sometimes not as much as in RS, but sometimes in Stowe, the storyline takes the character for the fool, and that, I guess, is done for dramatic effect on that.
Research report Dominion date 8183.67. The burrowers have emerged once again, and in a hostile state. They have taken to the stars, moving from sector to sector, attacking anyone that crosses their path. Their goal is not one of conquest, but of consumption. They leave nothing but dead worlds in their wake. Though we do not understand their newfound savagery, we have found a use for it. When the burrowers set their sights on a world, we offer the inhabitants a choice. Those that submit to our Dominion rule are defended by the Gemadar. Those that don't serve as an object lesson to others.
So, the Founders have been using the Herc to manipulate others for some time now. Bend the knee to the Dominion, or we'll stand back and let them ravage your world. Only now something's different. Something's changed. They can't keep the Herc in line with the Gemadar anymore. And we're all paying the price.
So do we know any... And that's one thing that Star Trek and Star Trek Online does so well, is making that expository link about the characters and whatnot. But do we know anybody in real life who does that exact same thing that the Dominion was doing here with the Herc? I've been trying to think of a real-world analogy for that, but I can't find it.
Research report 8532.38. Our scouts have returned from a wormhole expedition. The solid races on the other side are primitive and unremarkable, save for one. They are called Klingons, and show a singular talent for violence, one that rivals our own Gemadar. Left unchecked, these savage creatures could become dangerous enemies. While the Klingons are too willful to subjugate, their genetic material could produce viable cohorts to the Gemadar, or their replacements. We have begun development of a new cadre species, designation Thakiri, using demons from Klingon folklore for inspiration. As with Jem'Hadar, we have bound them to our service with the White. We will test them in combat on the Klingons themselves. Research report supplemental entry 8671.71 Dominion Reckoning. Somehow the Thakari have broken the hold of the White and turned on their rightful masters. Most of our research team were killed. Intelligence reports suggest a union between the Thakari and a Klingon warlord known as Mullah. Perhaps this will lead to a state of mutually assured destruction on Kolnos. One can only hope.
So it would seem. Only they lost control of them, despite the use of Ketracel White. Based on what we know about Thakiri, it seems the price they paid for their freedom was insanity.
So let's just unpack what happened here. And this was, I think, we knew about the Thakiri from Next Generation and DS9. But this, in Star Trek Online here, effectively just said that the Dominion made the Thakiri, which is the demons of the Klingon afterlife. Let's just let that sink in for a moment while we read this next one.
Research report 9076.23. Final entry. I am weary. Soon I'll return to the Great Link, and I will be glad to be rid of this place. The borrowers have emerged again. We can barely control them this time. The Jem'Hadar were able to divert their onslaught at great cost. Rather than counterattack, they went through the wormhole to seek easier prey. Our agents in the other quadrants report that the burrow assault was a sweeping one, going as far as Kronos. Hopefully they'll devour every atom of that wretched planet. The burrowers will eventually return to dormancy. Strangely, it appears that some of their forces intend on remaining in the other quadrants. It seems they have a long-term goal: galactic devastation.
Yes, they knew the Herc problem was getting worse even then. Instead of preparing or seeking allies, they expanded the Dominion. And when the Herc re-emerged, they tried to deal with it on their own, and failed. Their arrogance may lead to the end of the Dominion. We need to get this data to the Alliance, all of...
I'm picking up something on my tricorder. There was a massive power spike on a lower deck, and now I'm reading a large number of systems cycling up. Something's happening down there.
Agreed. Take your team and Captain Kira down to investigate. I'll remain here and pull as much of the data as possible. We won't get another chance at this.
So just thinking back to when this first came out and I ran through Victory's life in 2016, I have to say that reveal that we just had there was probably one of the biggest ones that Star Trek Online has ever had. Of course, there's going to be more as we progress through this, but this was a pretty big one for all of Stowe.
We must be close to the core. Hope we don't have to leave in a hurry. Tell me. We must be close to the core. Tell me about it. Let's stay focused on the mission. Now that we're closer to the signal, I'm getting better readings on my tricorder. I'm no doctor, but I'm pretty sure everything that came online down here has some sort of medical purpose. I'm still uncertain about Odo. I need to be sure he's still not the Odo I knew wouldn't have risked Bajor like that. This Odo seems arrogant and reckless, even dangerous.
Yep, that's the thing. It infers that the Dominion was around way before anybody had even developed space travel on our side. Well, there's our Fakiri.
Well, that answers one question. These are medical stasis pods. Judging by what we heard upstairs, I think the occupants are It gets worse. I'm picking up life signs ahead. I'll bet some of the stasis pods down here have opened. From what we know about the Fakiri, they probably won't be happy to see us. Worf and Martok need to see this.
Yeah, of course they do, because this completely changes all of Klingon history. Yeah, it's never good when there's stuff floating above you and dark shadows.
I'm picking up traces of Ketracel white in these tanks. The Dominion probably manufactured it here to keep the Fakiri in line, and took it with them when they left the facility. So, we have a station full of angry Fakiri with no way to pacify them. We've got company, and they don't look friendly. We're lucky there were only a few of them. I don't want to be around if all of these Fakiri wake up. Let's see if we can find some way to keep the rest of these pods from opening.
All right. I don't know if that'll help, but we can definitely try.
Making damage detected.
And once again, welcome to Star Trek Online Visual Overflow Factory. I mentioned in our previous stream that I did, I specifically designed this build to have minimum visual clutter. And this is still what we get.
Making damage detected.
More incoming. We need an exit plan. Fast.
One thing I didn't get to show off last time we were here is that you can actually aim, and it provides a buff to your ground combat with an aiming mode like so.
Enemy target marked.
Wave after
Maurice,
wave after
you-
wave.
I'll manage. Let's get out of here while we can.
Victory is life.
So is Rappaccino, but I don't say it every 5 seconds.
There we go, that was me. That was one of the engineer abilities that I just fired off. Orbital Strike. Calls down Orbital Strike at the target's location, presumably from your ship.
I think we've worn out our welcome. Garrick informs me that a number of unidentified vessels are emerging from hidden bays throughout the station. To make matters worse, the Herc have arrived. They're beginning to assault the station as we speak, and I don't need to tell you how that will end.
Oh, it's not going to end well. We better get out of here. Yeah, exactly. I don't know how they make their way underground, but it is
Looks
what
like
it is.
The Herc followed us down here.
That's a huge bug.
Keep moving. We're almost there.
Odo, look out!
Hold your fire. I think it's trying to communicate.
You might be right. Listen.
Yeah, he would have been
Are you
fine.
insane?
Oh, and of course it wouldn't be a Deep Space Nine episode without Wei-Yun coming in to complicate things.
I'm relieved to see you well. It's fortunate we arrived when we did. A moment later, and that creature would have attacked the Founder.
Odo wasn't in any danger, Wei-Yun. That Herc was peaceful. It was trying to communicate with us.
That's your opinion. Mine is that a Founder was in danger of being attacked by a member of an aggressive species. My duty was clear, as is my conscience. We're wasting time here, Captain. The station is on the verge of being overrun by the Herc. If you want to communicate with them some more, you're free to do so, but I recommend we leave immediately.
All the Wei-Yun, or all the Jeffrey Combs characters are wonderful. I'm at a toss-up of whether I prefer Shran or Wei-Yun, because there's also Brunt, and I think there's a couple other minor ones as well. Who's your favorite Jeffrey Combs characters or downs? I feel like out of all of them, we know the most about Shran, but that's only because he became such a close partner. And there's actually some talk for if Season 5 of Enterprise happened, that they were going to get Shran, Jeffrey Combs, on as a regular and have him join Starfleet, because remember, in Season 4, he lost his ship.
Once we return to the upper levels, we will be able to beam up and leave this place. Are you ready?
And the Star Trek Online loading screens return again. And I think the reason it does this, and we've heard some confirmation on this, is that for each map that you go to, they have to spin up an instance of it on their servers. So when you see loading, that's what it's doing behind the scenes. Seems to be an interesting game architecture, the way they put it together, because I don't know what kind of loading screens other MMOs have, but I know definitely when it comes to RS, we're not accustomed to loading screens of this length.
Glad you could join us. As you can see, the situation here has become rather combustible. The Herc I recognize, of course, but our other opponents remain a mystery. Valkyrie? The monsters from stories that keep naughty Klingon children in line? I'm intrigued. Be sure to fill me in once we've managed to get out of this. I remember Mr. Worf mentioning the Valkyrie once. I'm beginning to see why they concerned him.
Alright, so just a bit of a difference here from where we were at last time. Last time we were in the Discovery Enterprise. This time we're in the Discovery itself from the 32nd Century, and it's got all the adornments you'd expect from that.
Ships are tough things.
So what you just saw me do there was effectively commit space magic. This brings me to a point that a lot of people don't know about Star Trek Online. It's that any starship in this game can be made to pack a punch. And there are no bad ships, it's just a question of different playstyles.
A massive Herc fleet dropping out of warp.
Oh god, there's more of them.
Just as the Valkyrie are warping out.
Yeah, and
looks like the Valkyrie are pursuing the better part of
when the game launched 10 years ago, it would have been in that position where you wouldn't have been able to do much with some ships, but all of the
we'll deal with the Herc later.
All the ground or all the space combat styles now are pretty much on par with one another. There's a couple that edge the others out. But anything can be made to be good at this point.
The Founders never disappoint, do they? Learning their role in the creation of Klingon mythology was alarming, to say the least. I can't help but wonder what other secrets we'll learn once those ancient data files are restored. I'm afraid I have bad news to share. I reviewed your encounter with that peaceful Herc, and my universal translator analysis is clear. It was trying to communicate. It was asking for help. One thing is certain. The Founders won't forget our act of defiance. We should all be on guard from be seeing you.
Congratulations, Admiral.
Alright, that's mission 1. We're going to move on to the next one, which is Quarks Lucky 7. This is a favorite of the bunch of the entirety of the Victorious Life arc, and this one is a special mission because mission contact is Captain Nog, Aaron Eisenberg, who we all know is no longer here.
My apologies for the quality of the transmission. I'm contacting you on an encrypted frequency. I'm working on an important covert mission, and I could use your assistance. I can't go into the details over comms, but you should know, if we pull this off, it could change the course of the Herc conflict in our favor. Meet with me on Deep Space Nine to go over the details. Come along. I've been asked to keep the details of the mission on a need-to-know basis, and right now, only you and I need to know.
And this is a fun part here. This is a single-player mission. Very few times in the game do you get single-player missions. So this is going to be a fun mission. I will just leave it at that. But here we go.
Good luck.
Off to DS9 we go. Yeah, just if you look from Season 1, Episode 1, all the way to the end of the series, definitely most character development and a well-done character.
Absolutely not. This is your worst idea yet.
Do I need to remind you of the unwritten rule of acquisition, brother?
Rule 0. What the Nagus wants, we acquire. Why me? Get an eliminator to do it. Get 50. You can afford it.
You have connections with the Klingons. That and you're Rom's second most trusted Ferengi.
What? Who's first? Nog? Pell?
No. Moogie.
Fine. Send her then.
But brother, you did such a great job of rescuing her before.
I also told your son to shoot me if I ever thought of doing something like that again.
That's right.
Of course, that's a throwback to
worry.
the one episode where they tried to rescue her from the Dominion.
We need this, brother. We can't hold off the Herc forever.
Alliance forces are spread too thin to help, Quark.
We need the Klingons, brother. Otherwise, we're doomed.
Insanity! You don't even know where the Iconian fleet is, Rom.
I don't. But Starfleet intelligence monitors all major threats, including the Iconians.
Starfleet isn't in the habit of sharing classified data.
If we can get access to a security console, we can extract the data. We'll need to keep the security officer on duty occupied.
Leave that to me, husband.
All right, leader. The security officer on duty is a creature of habit. Comes in on her break every day without fail. Your job is to keep her occupied so Rom can get what we need from the security console. Do what you need to do. Smile, laugh at her jokes, whatever it takes. Put those feminine wiles of yours to good use.
Really, Quark? I'm not here to seduce your customers. You and I both know there's more than one way to work a mark.
Whatever you say, just don't mess it up.
You worry too much,
All right,
Quark.
so first we're playing as Lita. Oh, there's our security officer.
It's your lucky day, officer. You're the 10 millionth customer here at Quarks. Congratulations! You've just won.
Oh, thanks. I'll take a nice track to Gino. I'm on duty. I can't stay too long, but I suppose I have enough time for a spin at the table. Lead the way.
Quark, will you turn that hollow me off, please? It's creeping me out.
This is why I like the Hollow Leader. She doesn't complain as much as the original. There.
See, Lita had to
The free
leave, but
drink will get her
Quark
to
came up with the
relax.
solution of building a holographic version of her.
And then some
And there's no
doggo
problem
to
that can't
keep
be
her
solved in the
busy.
future.
One loss to remove suspicion.
Oh, looks like my luck's run out. Oh well. Thanks for the drink and the spin. Better get back.
Whoa, don't Don't be so hasty, friend.
The law of averages is on our
averages is
side.
on your side here. Trust
And if you
me.
do enough
Have
spins
another
and you
spin.
spend
On the
enough money,
house. What
you're
do
going to
you-
be guaranteed to
Okay, you've
win.
convinced me.
That's the number one way to
And then
find success in
victory
gambling,
to
folks.
reel her in. Double!
Nicely done. Those winnings are coming out of your cut, though.
Yeah, I never thought of offering those up, but that's definitely something we could do here, Zerdone's Pro Gambling Strats with Shane, and I guess that's going to be the title of this this week's stream. Even though I don't encourage gambling, because my math senses tell me that it's probably never worth it.
Chief O'Brien needed me to fix it once.
And I think if that was going to be a clippable moment, that would have been it. All right. So we got to go blue, green, white. No. Then we just hack it.
Once I'm in, I can install a back door. Then we can access the system from the console at Quarks.
All right, so we got to hack the password now. So, let's start with 3. Match digit, wrong location. So we got a 3 in the password somewhere. Match digit, wrong location. So we got a 1 and a 3 in the password. Alright, so it starts with 2. Then the second one, so it's going to be 1 or 3. No. Try 3. No, so the 3 is going to be, 1 and the 3 are going to be in the second half. Now, let's try 4. No, no 4 in it. When I'm sitting here right now, I do wonder if there's some algorithm I could be doing in my head, because that's what my brain initially goes to, but I'm kind of just brute forcing it right now. Then obviously our last one is then going to be the 3.
She's heading back, Rom. Get out of there!
Relax, everyone. It's done. I'm on my way back.
Try not to look conspicuous or guilty.
Okay.
Oh, I just noticed that. There's a little advertisement for Quarks on here. Same advertisement they used to have in the show. He got it playing on the screen.
Can't believe you pulled that off. Being the Nagus hasn't made you go soft between your...
Let's figure out the security.
Brother.
Yeah, it makes me wonder how many other Easter eggs are in here that I haven't seen yet. Alright, so threat intel records. We could go through this entire thing here and read up on everybody from the Borg to the Breen to the Iconians. I think I'm just going to have a look at the Iconians one, then the Fakiri and the Herc, unless anybody in chat wants me to look at any specific ones.
Officer's log stardate 88039.8. Taket's fleet is currently in the Phoeban sector, moving through deep space. She's keeping a low profile for the most part, avoiding
Any
conflict
requests?
with both the Dominion and the Herc. Anything foolish enough to get in her sights doesn't live long enough to regret it, however. The wreckage of a Gamma pirate flotilla will testify to that.
Let's hear the Borg.
Intelligence Officer's log stardate 87961.3. Intermittent Borg activity in the quadrant. We've been able to track a Unimatrix vessel, and our countermeasures are keeping its fleet at bay. The recent escalation of the Herc conflict is straining the number of resources available for Borg surveillance. Intelligence Officer's Log, Stardate 88139.9. A large Vakiri fleet has been spotted in transit to the Gamma Quadrant. Analysis of their course suggests they're heading toward the renegade Iconian fleet. Interesting. If the two of them manage to eliminate each other, well, that'll be 2 less headaches to keep me up at night.
2 less headaches to keep the intelligence officer up.
Intelligence Officer's Log, Stardate 89001.7. Major Herc activity throughout the 4 quadrants. As expected, Alliance forces are spread thin in attempts to protect critical sites in their own territory, as well as within the Dominion. The Klingons continue to stay out of it.
Alright, this mission's about to kick into high gear. The next part is hilarious.
All right, Rom, a deal is a deal. You found that. And that's the job.
1 week later.
Where's Gala?
Really? He shot the hostage last time. He's not invited.
Brunt, your database skills should help us locate the package.
Always happy to help, Grand Nagus. Retreat.
Still a master of Rule 33. Aren't you, Brunt?
It never hurts to suck up to the boss.
Of course. I presume you'll need my ship again, yes?
Not this time. We'll need a ship that can fight, just in case.
And we'll have it, thanks to our friend here.
Good. Everyone's here. Also, full consortium.
Oh, unbelievable.
The table's rigged. I'm sure of it.
We are not inviting the one who shot the hostage last time.
Here we are. The cloaking device I acquired from my cousin Gala is working like a charm. Keep an eye on it, though. I'd rather not attract the attention of the Iconians, or the Vakiri, for that matter. Looks like they're busy trying to blow each other to bits out there. Let's use that to our advantage. You see those Iconian Sentry probes? They use those to detect cloaked ships, so you'll want to disable them before.
Yes, that was a
move
reference to
much
the Iggy
closer.
Pop episode.
This cloak is good, but it's not that good.
And that's one of the things about DS9 is that they kept things so serialized, but they also had those wonderful one-off episodes like that.
Getting in's the easy part. We're cloaked and unexpected.
So what we need to do now is, this is one of the few missions in space where we actually have to stay stealthed in-game. So that offers a unique mechanic that we have really never had in the game before. In what you guys have
close.
seen.
They can see us. Get back.
Uh-oh. See, I went too close. That's not good. Well, I'll just use my real cloaking device and get out of here then.
They're attacking us! They're attacking us!
One fun little tidbit here is that because this is what the Discovery from the 32nd century, we know from Season 3 of Discovery, if you've watched that all the ships from that era have cloaking devices. So that's what I activated here. And as you can see here, they're just tracking me anyways. But anyways, let's go blow them up.
Get out of range, or disable the probes.
Alright, that should be enough for us to get out of range, I hope. There we go. Alertness is going down.
That should be enough to get to the flagship undetected.
Well, we can all stop holding our breath now. It worked.
So these are the
I'm
Iconians.
looking forward
We
to
don't
this.
we don't hear too much about those in actual Star Trek, but they
Almost
made
there.
their
Just take it nice and easy.
appearance in a season 3 episode of Next Generation Contagion and a Deep Space Nine episode in season 4, and were Star Trek Online's first major villain. So that's what we highlighted last time, is that the game pulls on these threads that were just left kind of open in the show and expands on them
I can't believe I'm actually going to
huge
sneak onto
ways.
an Iconian flagship and...
I've never been this close before. Impressive.
Terrifying is more like it. This is insane. Nog, you're our engineer. Buy it 400 and sell it 5.
It'll be up to you to disable the security systems, son.
Right. I'm familiar with their tech from the war. I won't let you down, Father. Evade.
We're up first, Nog. We need to lower the local security so Brunt and Lek can do their jobs.
No problem. I memorized the schematics for this vessel on the way here. There are engineering consoles we can use for that nearby. Follow me.
Yeah, and I feel like they did an episode, Zerdones, of
Head left
actual Star
here,
Trek
Nog.
like that, where they were having flashbacks to how they put the mission op together. I forget what it was, though.
I've studied Iconian systems. I can unlock these doors.
Good.
If I send in the appropriate
We'll have to
signals the
disable
door,
security and
I should be able
engineering.
to toggle the door locks. The good news is that my tricorder can get me the signal I need to send. The bad news is the Iconian systems only take trinary input. I think I see how the inputs work, so it shouldn't be too hard.
All right. And this is another reason I love this episode, is that we get to do trinary counting here. And for those watching who are just used to counting to 10, that's what we call counting in decimal. We can, of course, also count in binary, but here you can see we're counting in trinary. So 0, 1, 2, and 3 goes up by 1. Zerdones, you should get a good kick out of this. Hopefully. I know I did when I saw this. Alright, so 16. So let's go for... we need 10, so that's going to be 101. Now we need to add 4 more to it. Oh no, I'm forgetting how to count in trinary. So we need to add 2 more to it. 12. Then third digit should be that. Then we want to go to the 4th. Obviously, when you put me on a stream, I lose the ability to count in different base sets than base 10. Oh no, I wasn't anticipating this happening. No, if we go that's going to be too much, so... $13, then 14. So if we add 2 to this, this becomes 0, 1. So that becomes 1. Then we got to carry. Oh, no, that's not. There we go. Just a little bit of adding and carrying.
Got it. And we're done here.
Yep, that's what it was. 0121. And for, I don't know, I feel like anybody watching that after the fact would have no idea what I was doing. Like I was counting in brute force. But what I was trying to do behind the scenes was just add and carry in my head without a piece of paper in a number set that we don't normally use day to day. One of the most interesting things I ever had to do was, this was back in the school days, I had to actually do a worksheet of binary, octal, and hexadecimal addition and subtraction. And, you know, thinking about it, you wonder when you're going to use that, but just being able to think in those different number sets is good when you're working on some low-level things when it comes to, say, memory management or the C programming language. Sometimes you don't need to work in that set, but it's just always good to have a foundation in that language set. And I remember doing a number of worksheets doing counting and addition and subtraction in all the different base sets.
Hold on, Uncle. Something's coming.
And I think the end project for that was to actually write a calculator.
Like more than we can handle.
Without
Let
using
Fleck take care of it. He'll probably enjoy it.
Think I can lock the door behind once
Programming
it's gone.
languages, tools for converting base
Do
sets,
that.
and to actually
Quickly.
have it add and subtract any base set.
Head right.
Because obviously when you're doing it by hand, you're limited based on the number of calculations you can do simultaneously. But in a computer, you can just extrapolate it and make an algorithm to do that. All right, so we're going for 24 this time. So if we start with... So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take our initial set of 0, 101. Then we're going to add another 10 to it. So if we add plus 1 and plus 1, we get 202. Then we just have to add 4 to that. So if we add 4 to this, we see here 4 is 0, 0, 1, 1. If we add 1 to that, we get 0. And then we have to carry the 1 over to the third. And then we also have to add another 1 here in the third. 2. And there's 24, 0, 2, 2, 0.
Got it. And we're done here.
Oh, yeah, there's another one you could have done. 27 minus 3. Those are knowns. Good shout. The reason I had to do octal and hex is that Braggy scream. I just got interrupted by that. The reason I had to do octal and hex is that also for that class we had to build a simulation of a assembly language compiler. Now obviously it wasn't real assembly language that we were compiling, but it was just something that would track memory addresses, and it was an exercise in Unix principles, let's just say.
Security's offline. We're good to go.
Can we drop their rear shield for a moment?
From the other console? Why?
You'll see.
What's that, Uncle?
Call it an insurance policy. Lek, how do you feel about Iconian heralds?
Very dangerous. I look forward to shooting some. Sell at 250? Buy at 100.
You'll get your chance, clearing the path for Quark and Nog.
The riskier the road, the greater the profit. I'm in.
Yeah, and Zerdones, you're entirely right that anybody would normally see that as magic, and the question is, what kind of magic is it? Is it deep magic or dark magic in some cases?
The hunt is on.
Alright, what do we got here? Throwing knives.
Ooh, they fight back. Good, good. Magnificent. Truly magnificent. It's looking this way between patrol points. I should be able to sneak up if I duck behind the wall.
Eliminated. Lek the Eliminator.
I bet I could make that console explode remotely. Not the explosion I was looking for, but it'll do.
I've found the package. The Iconian keeps it on display in what looks like a trophy room. And here I thought they were above such basic behavior. I've analyzed their patrol patterns, Lek. You'll need a clear path for Quark and Nog. I trust you'll keep the guards in that area occupied for a suitable period of time.
That's entirely right, Zerdones. Work smarter, not harder. Because they didn't even see us coming there.
This is worth more than latinum to me. More enemies to the left, and another console.
Alright, let's see what this one does.
What? Still no explosion? Ugh, ridiculous.
Oh, it's perfect. I don't know why I'm enjoying this so much. Maybe it's just been a long time since I played this one.
The big one will come to investigate.
Party horn.
This isn't work. This is fun.
You know, I'm not sure who's having more fun with this, myself or Lek. I thought we hit the precipice, the highest point, with the trinary counting, but Go even
If I
further.
overload those conduits, I'm sure it'll make a big explosion. Doesn't anything blow up around here? Lecter Quark, the path is clear.
I'm detecting some nearby patrols.
I want to see if I can cause a distraction. Hold on.
All right.
If I blow up that console, it'll cause a nice distraction. Nog, how do I overload these ridiculous Iconian consoles?
Easy. First you need to... Wait. How are you at trinary conversions?
Never mind. I have a workaround.
Brother, you'll crack the safe. Once
And
Brad
Lek
finds
finally
it.
gets the explosion he
Nice of you to
desires.
give me the easy job, Rom.
By that point, Lek will have eliminated their guards.
We're talking about Iconians here, Rom.
I'll be with you, Uncle. You'll be fine.
Oh, I feel so much better now. Time for me to earn my share. Watch and learn.
Don't worry, Uncle. I've got your back.
Now I think playing as Quark here is probably going to be the least entertaining out of all of them. Maybe not.
You know, you were supposed to shoot me if I got pulled into another one of these.
I thought you meant rescue operations. I can shoot you later if you'd like.
No, it just wouldn't be the same.
You know, I think if they were to ever get one thing right and be able to continue that in Stowe, it would definitely be this Ferengi banter. I feel like this is 100% spot on. Also, you gotta love the little techno backing track in here.
Ha! I'm impressed!
And that's what we just cleared as
That's
Lek.
one word for it. He left some guarding the trophy room.
It's okay, Uncle. We can handle that.
All right, now let's find the package. It has to
All
be
right,
one
let's
of the
see what we
display
got here in the
cases around
trophy
room.
room. That might be interesting.
Amazing! That's a singularity. Taket must have taken it from a Romulan warbird. You could say it was the heart of that ship. Must have been a memorable opponent for her to...
Amazing that they'd be able to capture Singularity.
Looks like a secure treasure box. I wonder what's inside. It could be practically anything.
Yeah, that's one
Leave
of
it
our
to-
Star Trek
Well,
Online
not
lock
everyone
boxes.
is as good at opening locks as you, Uncle. Most people would need...
That's a lot of latinum. Impressive. I could buy a Starliner with that and have enough left to buy...
Platinum?
Is that part of an Iconian? Why would Taket keep a...
Taket lost her arm when she fought Kalis during the war. She's keeping it as a trophy or maybe a reminder
A severed
of one of her
arm.
few
All right.
Ah, I've seen these statues on New Romulus. They were made by the Day Ones, a servitor race of the Iconians. Not sure why Taket would keep one of these on display. Maybe it's of a sentimental value to her.
He's not very sentimental. We know that from the Iconian arc.
Seeing these reminds me of the Dominion War. A lot of those were sent back home to loved ones. Starfleet, Klingons, the Romulans. They all have their different rituals. Even the enemy cared for their dead.
And they say you don't have a heart, Uncle.
And they say
Too
Quark
bad
doesn't
we
have
don't
a
have
heart.
enough time to steal these and sell them back to the people who want them. 34th rule of acquisition, Nog. War is good for business.
War is good for business.
That's a bottle of prune juice.
Prune
I'd
juice.
recognize that color anywhere. Worf constantly demanded I have a bottle on hand at the bar. A warrior's drink, he called it. More like a torture drink. I tried some once. Let's just say that it was not a pleasant digestive experience.
It was not a pleasant digestive experience, Fruit Juice, Quark says.
Interesting. I read about these at the Academy. Something called NASA sent them out on crewed space probes centuries ago to initiate first contact with alien life. I believe this contains audio files, animal sounds, music, language samples. My Earth history instructor would love to get her hands on this. We should, acquire it if we have the...
Baseball.
Uncle, that looks like Captain Sisko's baseball. You don't think it's his, do you? I thought Jake took it with him.
Do you remember when Sisko
Yep,
made us play
that's where that
baseball against the Vulcans?
came from.
Mom
Voyager.
wouldn't stop talking about it for weeks. Put a bunch of money into that new Interstellar League, too. Still can't believe he bought a professional team. The Ferenginar Liquidators. They're terrible. Got beat by the Cation Claws by a score of 18-4, and they were cheating!
They got beat while cheating.
You know, I always told the top brass at the Corps of Engineers that making the party poppers look like weapons was a bad idea. Any officer who uses one of those instead of a real weapon is in for a bad day.
Alright, let's go get the sword.
Package located. The Sword of Kalis. Now, we need to retrieve it. You, of all people, should know that Federation tricorders record whatever they scan. Never leave a data trail. We'll do this the Ferengi way. It'll take someone with the lopes for the job. That's me.
Nicely done, Uncle! We did it! We actually did it! We shouldn't stick around, though. Let's head back to the shuttle before the Iconians figure out what we're up to.
Rule 7. Keep your ears open and your eyes on the mark.
This is no time to get sloppy. Alright, now it just says to escape. I assume we want to run.
That's far enough. Well done, Quark. You actually managed to pull it off. I suppose I shouldn't be too surprised. You've a talent for larceny, after all. Time, however, is a factor. Hand it over now, or I'll shoot you both and take it from your cold, dead fingers.
Are you out of your mind? Have you forgotten who Nog and I are related to? No payout is
They're, of
worth
course,
what will
referring to
happen
Rom,
you if you
who's
do
Grand
this.
Nagus.
Rom will have every Eliminator, Bounty Hunter, and Pirate in the 4 quadrants gunning for you.
How did Lek put it? Oh, yes. The riskier the road, the greater the profit. Wise words indeed. The payout from this job will provide me with more than enough latinum to remove your idiot brother and take my rightful place as the Grand Nagus.
Of course, there's always a subplot
I'm willing to
revolving
give you a
around this with the
sporting
Ferengi.
chance, however. Hand over the package. You might be able to flee before that very angry Iconian arrives.
Have it your way, Brunt. You're dumber than you look. If you think the crew of our ride won't be suspicious when you come back without us. They'll probably throw you in the brig on general principle. I know I would.
Ah, but I won't be traveling with them, Quark. I've made other. Goodbye, Quark. At last, goodbye!
Nog! Now!
A force field? It will not stop me, Ferengi.
Look a little closer. That's a chronoton field. You might make it through, but it's definitely gonna hurt. A lot. Or we can talk like sensible, intelligent people. Your call.
Very well. Speak. Your crimes are numerous. You breached my security, damaged my vessel, killed members of my crew, violated my sanctum, and stolen something very precious to me. Each is punishable by death. Tell me, why shouldn't I purge you like the odious vermin you are?
That's where you're wrong. I don't have anything of yours on me. Run a scan if you don't believe me. If anything, I was trying to stop the lunatic that did steal from you. I may be odious vermin, but I'm not stupid. Look, We should be working together to stop our mutual enemy instead of wasting time with this argument.
There will be plenty of time to eliminate each and every one of you filthy creatures. That field of yours will drop eventually, and then you will die. Your cohort will be tracked and ultimately killed. I will have my vengeance on you all soon enough.
You're not entirely wrong, but I think you're going to have a much bigger problem to deal with in the very near future. Any moment now.
And what shall that be?
Remember this? A little something we picked up on Karema. Keep it on your ship and beam it to our location when we give you the signal.
What's that, Uncle?
Call it an insurance policy.
And there's another flashback.
You might make it through, but it's definitely gonna hurt. A lot. Or we can talk like sensible, intelligent people. Your call.
Explain yourself. Speak while you still can, Ferengi.
They're called Herc. Maybe you've heard of them. Real nasty dispositions. Eat everything they come across, and now they've come across your fleet. You Iconians are tough, but you're not invincible. Against the Fakiri and the Herc, those are some pretty long odds, Ticket. Here's how this is going to work. You're going to let us go, and in return, I'll disable the device that's bringing every Herc in the quadrant here to chew on your ship. We'll go our way, you'll go yours. Otherwise, we'll wait and see what happens first. My field drops, or you and your ship become the main course at the Herc buffet.
I agree to your terms. Go, get out, leave my ship and disable your Orbital Device. Know this, you've made an enemy today, Ferengi. I am patient. I will avenge myself. You will pay for your crimes.
Right. Then we have a deal. We'll be on our way then. I'll take care of your Herc problem once I've made it to a safe distance. I'd say it's been a pleasure, but we both know that'd be a lie.
And the fact that the Iconians are scared of the Herc says something. Also, just look at Quark's face as he's running.
What are we waiting for? Run! Run!
And in typical Ferengi fashion, we bit off more than we could chew.
We're almost there, but we lost the sword. We went through all of this, and for what?
Quark to Modron. Is the package secured?
Margarine here. You'll be happy to know the package is safe and sound. I beamed it to your ship a few minutes ago. I'm afraid Brunt is a little bruised, but these things happen. I'll keep him nice and sedated until we get back to the Alpha Quadrant. And Quark, be sure to let the Nagus know I held up my end of the bargain, won't you?
I'll be sure to let him know, Modron. Quark out. And look! The shuttle's right where we left it! Things are looking up for a change! Let's get out of here before Tket changes her mind.
And we wait. And we wait. Any time now would be wonderful, Star Trek Online. I forgot how fun that mission was, that episode was.
Thanks for sticking with me. Now, if you don't mind, let's get back to DS9. This very cranky Iconian is looking for an excuse to kill us.
We've got a problem. The cloaking device is acting up. If it goes down, every ship in the system will know we're here. The cloak's offline!
Terrific.
Now we better run.
This is what I get for buying it from Galen.
Don't worry, I'll be running it again. I just need a couple minutes.
Alright, we gotta hold out for 2 minutes. Alright. I'll use my real cloak in the time being.
Where's Brad?
But I guess that's not really that entertaining if I was to do that.
Found another way back to DS9.
So Jones, you say most Ferengi episodes. Do you have one in mind that you don't necessarily enjoy? That's on your mind right now?
Those ships are attacking each other as much as they're attacking us.
I don't remember what that one is about. Was that something to do with... I don't know. I need to look that one up now that you mention it. Zerdone's in chat mentioned the one where Quark becomes a woman.
We're getting hit hard here!
Okay, that's ringing a bell now. Prophet and Lace.
Ah! I got the cloak back up!
Move out of range. Don't want anyone sensing our warp trail.
Cloak's online again, and we're at a safe distance from the enemy. We can leave as soon as you're ready.
I don't know about the rest of you, but I was ready to go the minute we warped into this system. And I'm doubly ready to go now. Not to tell you your business, but make it so, please.
Alright, well, let's get out of here. Yeah, I should go back and look at some of those like that, some of those episodes.
Quark and Nog told me you did a great job keeping them all safe. Thank you for bringing them back in one piece. The 6th rule of acquisition says, never allow family to stand in the way of opportunity. But what can I... Brunt is ambitious, but predictable. We expected him to betray us, and we capitalized on it. Brunt made life difficult for the Nausicans who worked for Madron. That was a painful decision. Ask Dr. Bashir about that if you're interested. Brunt made the mistake of dealing with someone more ambitious than he was. Madron came to me shortly after Brunt made him an offer, and I made Madron a counter-offer he couldn't refuse. But there's something I'm curious about. The Herc stole the sword of Kalis from the Klingons a long time ago, but no one seems to know why.
So they stole the sword, but they didn't
so
eat
there must
it.
be something about it they value. And we Ferengi are all about value. Perhaps the lab's sensors and equipment can tell us more.
One thing about this sword, this was the sword that appeared in that one Deep Space Nine episode. I forget the name of it. It was one where Jadzia and Worf go on an expedition and wind up beaming the sword of Kalis into space after they're finished with it, and obviously after that the Herc picked it up.
Based on the scans, that carapace was around for quite a long time before Kalis made a weapon out of it. The blade material is over 4,000 years old, where the story of Kalis is roughly only 1,600 years old. Now, this is interesting. These readings indicate that the Sword of Kalis is made out of biological material with a germanium base. I'll need to run more tests to be certain, but I believe the weapon was fashioned out of a Herc carapace. This may explain their interest in it. What can I do for you? Well, he's got a deep contusion of the auricular lobe and a possible dislocated malleus.
Yeah,
Normally,
that's it,
in a
core.
Ferengi, either condition could be fatal, but it seems that whoever did this to our friend here knew exactly how to keep the damage just this side of lethal. Luckily for the patient, he'll live. Unluckily, there's only so much modern medicine can do to numb this type of pain.
And they'll both pay for their crimes.
If you say so, Brunt, but the Grand Nagus has other ideas, I'm afraid. And I hear that Ferengi prison is... None of the Ferengi were willing to tell me what led to Brunt looking like he went 10 rounds with the Gorn heavyweight champion. Care to enlighten me?
That's classified, Doctor.
I'm reading traces of multiple radiation types within the blade. Discounting the type that likely came from the Iconians, there are still clear traces of thermobaric and tetrionic radiation. I believe we could cross-reference Alliance and Dominion star charts and easily determine where these traces of radiation originated. We have a 4,000-year-old weapon made of a Herc carapace. My analysis of the radiation within the blade should allow us to narrow down its point of origin. I've had the computer working on that as we speak. Let's have a look. Cross-referencing all known Alliance and Dominion star charts, and voila! There's one system that contains all of the conditions we've isolated. Havas Kur, at the edge of Dominion space. It's possible we've just discovered the location of the Herc homeworld. We should forward this information to the appropriate parties at once. This could be the breakthrough we've been looking for.
Sounds impressive and valuable. Rule 21, Quark. Never place friendship above profit.
Unbelievable! I knew Brunt was a snake, but Lek? Guess I should have known better. The bigger the smile, the sharper the knife. And Lek's got plenty of both.
He's a
Bigger the
fool
smile,
if he
the
thinks he
sharper
can
the knife.
steal from me. I'll have every eliminator, bounty hunter, and pirate in the 4 quadrants gunning for him.
Considering how angry my father is, the Klingons will be the least of Lek's problems. I haven't seen him this mad since he caught me... Well, we don't need to get into that. Despite everything
I'm sure we don't.
We'll hold up our end of the bargain. I'll be in touch when everything is prepared. And remember, this operation never happened.
Operation never happened.
Think they bought it?
Completely. As far as they're concerned, the sword has been stolen. You, might want to lay low for a while, though.
Opportunity plus instinct equals profit. Well done, brother.
The Sword of Kalis, as promised.
Once again, the House of Quark delivers. Martok will
Speak
be
of the devil.
pleased.
So will I, Grilka, once
Grilka.
the payment clears. Pleasure doing business with you.
And this woman was the one Quark married in one of the, I forget the name of the episode, one of the Deep Space Nine episodes. Odd, fun little cameo, just like that. And I think with that one, we'll take Lek's throwing knives. Alright, so with that, I think we got 2 more episodes left to go. We've been going for an hour 43, and I quite honestly want to end on the high note that was Quark's Lucky 7. So I'm going to leave it here, but we'll be back next week as Sirion is still away. I'll still be sitting in his usual Thursday time slot, and we're going to continue next week with the final 2 episodes in this series, Tenebris, Torquent, and Home. 2 episodes that will wrap up the Victory's life arc quite well. So, that being said, we'll be back next week. Thank you to everybody for watching, and if you're new around here, be sure to hit that follow button on the Clan Quest Twitch feed, and we'll see you next week for some more. See you then, everyone. Bye-bye.